What's up, trade crew? Welcome back to HVAC R&D, hosted by Rhydon Atzenhofer. Tonight, I've got an awesome show featuring some hidden gems, so let's get it going. Yeah, come on. This episode of the HVAC R&D podcast is powered by Bosch Home Comfort, your trusted partner for innovative HVAC solutions. To all of you listening, thank you and welcome to HVAC R&D. I appreciate you tuning in and giving me a chance to spend some time with you. I am based in North Carolina, and HVAC R&D is focused on research and development within the trades. My goal is to help foster and build a supportive and collaborative HVAC and trades community by learning from the past and embracing new technology and ideas for the future. Please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button while you're listening on your favorite podcasting platform. And if you're on social media, please follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at hvac.rnd and on LinkedIn, Trade Hounds, and Facebook as the HVAC R&D podcast. You can catch new episodes on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Pacific whenever they're available. Don't forget to also check out the HVACRD.com vendor hub for more information on sponsors Bosch Home Comfort and Global The Source, as well as discounts from BetterHelp, Chirp, Service Titan, and my newest partner, SkillCat. Once you're done there, go grab some Cajun Joe's Bayou Spice and other cool gear in the R&D swag shop, and be sure to join the mailing list at the bottom of the page to be updated for all things HVAC R&D. And now, enjoy part one of this amazing show, recorded a few weeks ago with two great friends. So Trade Crew, today I am excited to host not one, but two hidden gems, as our group chat is called, of the HVAC Trade Crew community. First off, you know him from his affinity for badassery and commercial HVAC duct and sheet metal work, a recently turned first-time father, and an all-around great guy returning to the show for a second time, having previously joined on episode 107, Hard Hat and the Hammer. Please welcome Caio Torres, better known as SheetMetalHVAC. And then second, but never last and never the least, you tend to find her sliding things through crawl spaces on sticks of PVC pipe, hiding out in empty furnace blower cabinets, or showing junky old package units to his boss. Please welcome back from episode 105, the boss lady of the Raleigh, North Carolina install game herself, the one and only Rachelle Martins, known as HVAC Installer. Friends, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
What's going on? Good to be back. Better audio this
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, you sound great. You sound free.
Yeah, I mean, I got this computer thing figured out. If you watch 107, you'll know my frustrations with technology.
It happens to the best of us. There's always a learning curve with this stuff. I'll say that.
My audio was fine the first time that I came on, but I think what was wrong with me was that I was so new to the game. It was like when I first started putting out content and you like scooped me up and grabbed me on the podcast. I didn't really know anybody like in the social media world quite yet, just, you know, the big ones that everyone knows. And I had never like publicly spoke like this, like you do in a podcast. So I'm hoping to be back for the second time better.
I think then you even already had more followers than the show. So
No, well, that's not care because it was like right after your page got shut down. You guys had to start over.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. That was true. That was not fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a bit. Finally got back over 2,000 again about a month ago, I think, roughly somewhere around there.
Oh,
Nice.
Well, you guys know how this goes. Who wants to go first? What y'all drinking?
I'll go first.
I'll go first.
Oh,
No, I'll go first because mine's super lame because
She's
I'm
got to work
drinking
tomorrow.
that too. I'm drinking water because I just started a pretty intense diet program, so I'm drinking water only. So
I see. That was supposed to be October. October, sober October. You missed it by a month.
I don't really drink that much anyway, so it's not that big a deal. What's harder for me is I'm doing like the carnivore diet, so I'm only eating meat, eggs, and dairy, and that's it.
Nice. All right, well, Caio, what you rolling?
so in honor of the guy from Sure Tape, Dennis, you had an episode on him recently, not too long ago.
Yep.
In
that was,
honor of him, because I
132.
actually reached out to him and spoke to him a little bit, I am drinking a Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Nice.
So there's my crack.
All right. So, in honor of the fact that people always wanted to make this a golf podcast, and I actually played golf for the first time, or a full round of golf for the first time since I was 16 this week, I am drinking an American lager called On the Nines from Hoptown Brewing in Mooresville, North Carolina. This crisp, easy drinking American lager is the perfect pal for a long day out on the greens. A light golden biscuit flavor dominates the front nine, while the subtle floral notes finish strong on the back. Please tip your beer cart server. So I guess I'll tip myself.
Was that like a sponsor?
No, that's actually the can, but I thought it went very well.
That
Maybe
went
we can
really
work on that. You never know.
Still waiting.
Did you have beginner's luck when you were out on the golf course then? It was like your first time?
No, it was not my first time golfing. It was just my first time golfing in 22 years. Because putt doesn't count for that one, I guess. I've been to the range a few times, but I had really wanted to get back into playing here and there. And for my 33rd birthday, I bought myself just a hodgepodge set of TaylorMades because I'd always wanted a set of TaylorMades my whole life. So I hit up the Dick's Sporting Goods clearance section that fall. And then the next spring, we went into COVID, and half of them never even made it out of the iron sleeves. They just stayed in the bag. And then finally I had a rep from Everchem, which, Rachel, I don't know if you've ever used any of their stuff, but they're actually a North Carolina-based caulking and sealant company that we just brought in their stuff a couple of months ago. But myself and our branch manager, Travis, went and played a round of golf with him. And also with the random 60-something-year-old single guy that needed a group to play with. So we had this one other guy with us the whole time, and he kicked all of our asses.
And you
royally.
didn't invite him on the podcast? Why not?
Man, it was, I'm hoping we see him again. That was funny. Because we just kind of rolled up to the like, so you're the fourth? He's like, yep, all right, let's go. I would say the people that played in front of us were probably the slowest foursome I've ever played behind.
Oh, that's awful.
It was terrible. And then like everyone behind us was just like pushing us. And I was like, well, I can let you play through, but then I'm just going to be pushing you the whole way.
Yeah, right.
And then when we got to the turn, like we stopped, got a couple beers, grabbed a hot dog, and then we still ended up right back behind them. It was so bad. It probably added close to an hour to the game because we were there from.
Yeah, that's brutal.
I think we teed off at 11. We didn't get done till almost 4. It was a long day. It was a long day.
Yeah, that's a long day. Were you walking or on carts?
We were on carts. We played
walking
Highland Creek down here.
Nice.
But no, it wasn't a bad course. Only lost like 6 balls, which was impressive. 4 that were mine and 2 that I found. while I was
Nice.
hunting for ones I'd lost before, but eventually lost those. Where I grew up in the mountains playing mountain courses, you'll like lose a freaking box of balls a game if you're not lucky. If you're if you're lucky, you only lose a box of balls a game sometimes. Jeez, it can get brutal.
As of August of last year, I started golfing, first time golfing, and this year I've been going once or twice every single week. So I've been really enjoying it. I'm at the point now where I could play like all 9 holes with 1 ball or 2 balls, which is pretty nice.
Nice. Now up there, are you a member anywhere, or is there like a local, like municipal course group where you pay a fee and you can play like 10 different local courses or anything like that? Or
So I live like 3 streets away from a small 9-hole golf course.
nice.
It's actually pretty nice. I really like it. They're really nice greens. Not the best, where you tee off from. Those greens aren't really great, but it's $20 if you're walking for a round. It's super cheap, but it's pretty nice. I like it.
No, and it gets you a nice little exercise just walking 9. That's not bad.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's pretty good. I really I actually told my wife last night that I'm gonna turn my garage into a golf simulator. So I'm gonna be doing that this winter. That's my winter project.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know a few guys that have done that. I might have to hook you up.
It's gonna be sweet. I have it all planned out. I'm on like a $3,000 budget.
That's a pretty nice little budget for that. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta like do a little bit of reframing in my garage, and then get a net, get the actual, tracker or whatever.
Yep.
We'll see. I'll keep you updated on that.
I like it.
I don't know anything about golf, so don't ask me. My only experience is working on houses that are on a golf course and feeling like the ball's going to hit me in the head at any moment. That's about it. Because the house will have like ball-proof like windows and like all these screens up to protect their stuff, and I'm like, but what about me? Don't.
Yeah.
I've always been curious about that.
Yep.
Like, you gotta expect a ball to go through a window if you live on a golf course. I've nailed houses before.
At some point, you've got to be thinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have special windows, and there was this one house that had like a screened-in back porch, and the screen itself was like more than your regular screen. Like, I don't know, different material.
See, you don't golf, but you're still in the conversation about
Yeah,
golf.
I just put myself in wherever I am.
It's perfect. I learned something new today. Ball-proof windows and screens. That's
so
pretty
feel
cool.
free to hit houses as you please.
I don't feel as bad anymore.
Just aim for them.
Well, and like some of them that line the course, they'll have like a fence, and it's like, all right, well, I can see my ball because I have a wicked slice, but I don't want to jump the fence and get in your yard because then I feel bad. So sorry about that.
I guess they got a free Pro V1.
There was this one where like I had to like my pathway to walk from like the truck to where I was working to get in the crawl back there. I had to like walk through the little, what do you call it? The green, not the, wherever the hole is, that where they start putting when you're close to the hole. That little hole was like right in my path. So it was awkward. Like I'm trying to like walk back and forth with my stuff. And there's like someone there like so serious. And I feel like I'm like just stopped. I'm like, I can't disturb him, but I got work to do. So like I'm just standing there like, come on, man, putt the ball. And then he putts it and I like run.
You're like, do I need to pull the flag for you? Will that make you feel better?
Yeah, right. You want the pin in or out?
It's hard not to like quote Happy Gilmore in those moments.
Oh, you can't. People our generation, you can't go play golf and not have at least one Happy Gilmore reference somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Trade Crew, are your customers ready for year-round comfort? The Bosch Home Comfort IDS Ultra is the ultimate solution for all seasons. This cold climate heat pump delivers reliable heating even when it's down to negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and delivers efficient cooling all summer long. With Bosch's enhanced vapor injection compressor technology, your clients stay comfortable no matter the weather. Plus, with ultra-quiet operation at just 60 decibels or lower, it's powerful, efficient, and practically silent. Bosch IDS Ultra, comfort that works as hard as you do. And now, back to the show.
Oh, I saw a thing today because I've been following the, obviously politics, but specifically like the RFK, taking on big pharma and like the food industry and everything. And his slogan, instead of "Make America Great Again," "Make America Healthy Again." And it's, instead of MAGA, it's Maha. And I saw this meme like, I can't hear Maha without thinking of Amanda Bynes. Maha. Now I can't unsee it. Now it's all.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
If he doesn't get her on the campaign to like push that, then he's really missed out on something.
Yeah. That's hysterical.
So, Caio, you're a dad.
I know. It's crazy.
You're a dad.
It's awesome. It's the best thing ever. It's the most humbling thing that's ever happened to me. It just it changes your life perspective of everything, just changes when you become a father. It's like I always had a purpose to work, save money to spend money, right? Work to save money to buy a house, a bike, a truck, get married, whatever. Except now it's like, no, I'm working for my son. I'm working for him to have a better life than I did. I'm fortunate. I'm not going to say I had it easy, but I had it easier than other people, my parents, for sure. But, I want him to have what he wants and needs and all the tools he ever needs. And, and it's like I'm working for a different purpose now, which is pretty crazy.
The stakes are higher. Failure's not up.
Exactly. Yep. Much higher. But it's been great. It's so funny. People are always like, it's I came, I don't know. I was so unprepared I feel like as a father. I felt like I was unprepared. Like you watch TV or movies and there's people in group settings, like how to change a diaper, how to swaddle your baby, how to do this. It's like I didn't do any of that stuff. And at first I was like, oh shoot, what, how do I do it? But it's so funny. It's like you cut the umbilical cord. It's like all these dad things just hit you at once. It's like, wow, I know how to do everything. It's like, I don't know. It just comes so naturally. And I don't know. It's amazing. I love it.
Well, I think part of it is the opinions of the world are so in your face now that you almost get anxious about it because you can hear 3 or 4 different ways to do the same thing. But then once it's here and it's yours, you get to decide what works best for you. And really all it is just keep the kid alive and everything else really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it's like my mother, she'll be like, no, you got to do this. He wants this. And it's like, actually, I know my son. I know what he wants. He's actually, he really just wants this. And every child is different. And, it's just cool to be able to raise my own child and, support my wife through everything. And I think it's funny too, because it's like you go somewhere where there's a lot of old school people or older people, I guess. And I was at my dad's restaurant and he was there was a elderly couple there and they were like, wow, where's the mother? Why are you by yourself with the baby? You're holding him by, you're doing great. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm the dad. It's crazy that the generation difference, back in the day, I guess fathers weren't involved with anything. I think it's insane.
I was listening to an episode of another podcast the other day, and it was a very similar conversation to that. How, before it was the mom was just like, be quiet, your dad's working, or be quiet, your dad's had a long day. he was almost just kept away from in a lot of cases, or isolated away from the kid almost. Like, you can't bother the dad with having to be a dad.
Yeah.
And you would almost think that my dad would have had some of that, because when I was born, he was 45. So his generation before that was very probably similar to that in a lot of cases. He grew up with 3 sisters and his mom most of the time, but it's crazy that there's really still a lot of that, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's insane. My grandmother was telling me that my grandfather, he's never held any one of his kids that he's ever had. And the first time he held a baby was like, it was like I think it's his 7th grandchild, one of my cousins. I was like, wow, it took that long for him to hold a baby, huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Things are different now.
That's true.
We all know.
And I can't say anything. I'm not a dad. I just have 3 fur children.
I was gonna say you're a fur dad.
We did a lost Riker in March, so we've got Rhodes now.
No, I'm sorry.
Rhodes is I've really not posted a bunch of him, but we got Rhodes in last part of August, early September. So he's 5 months now, and he is wide open. He's already bigger than the other 2, which is insane. He just keeps growing, which I wish he would stop.
Yeah.
But not the same, but still crazy.
It's like our other dog. We ended up getting another dog as well. We rescued another Great Dane, and she's wild, man. She's got so much energy, bigger than our other Great Dane mix, and it's fun though. She's a good dog.
I feel like they should measure Great Danes in hands like they do horses.
They should.
It's like, how many hands is your Great Dane?
Oh man.
So, Rachel, you and Igor and the kids took Europe. I've actually been wanting to talk to you about this forever, because I just wanted to know your thoughts about all the cool places you went.
It was amazing. It was really good. And we were able to go for 3 weeks. So we were able to hit I think 5 countries total. And what happened was we flew into Paris, and we were able to stay there for a few days. We caught some of the Olympics, and we went to the men's soccer. It was USA versus Morocco. And I'll tell you, I went in there thinking oh, how cool, we're seeing the USA game. But the Morocco fans, I'm telling you, they were next level. They were so fun. By the end of the game, I'm I'm rooting for Morocco. Let's do this. I was so pumped up with their energy. That was really cool. And then we rented a car. And so we just went by car went to Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, Italy. So
nice.
It was a lot. We were tired by the end, but it was a trip of a lifetime. It was so cool.
Now, speaking of the driving through Europe part, what did you have to do beforehand to prep for an international driver's license, or how does all that work?
That was really easy, actually. You just go to AAA over here, and you fill out this paper thing, and basically what it is a translation of your US driver's license. And so we had that, and so that's all you really needed to rent the car, and then you just drove. And what I found weird, because we're so about borders over here, you just drive from country to country. There's no toll, there's no stop. It's just one fluid land. It just, I don't know, that to me that was different.
Well, instead of welcome to Georgia, it's welcome to France.
Or sometimes not. You'll be on the highway, and your our GPS will say welcome to France, or whatever, or wherever the country was, but there would be no markings, because
I guess no
the main entrance. I don't know.
No country line.
Yeah, but it was cool.
I would die laughing if they had the same kind of signs that we've got here. Because you driving to Georgia, it's we're glad Georgia's on your mind. It's you roll into Belgium, we have great beer.
Germany, we didn't spend much time there, but they have really good burgers, just so you know. Like, best burger
Well, I
I've had.
mean, hamburger.
Exactly.
Hamburger.
I found that out, that hamburgers are from Hamburg, which is, I don't know. They're German. I thought they were American. I thought
I had no
burgers
idea.
were
No, we
American.
Americanize everything. Don't you know
No.
this? French fries? No, I'm just kidding. So where all did you go in Italy, or what all did you get to there? This is the only one I've been to, so I can talk about
Our
it.
first stop was Milan, and that was underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah, I really expected like this big, bustling, rich city like you see in the movies, and it was really just like there was like this one square, like a little square with the buildings, and it was beautiful, but
Mhm.
that was it. Like you go outside of that, and the city itself kind of looked closed. It was just yeah, it was kind of sad outside of that little square.
Well, and I don't know how much COVID really affected like their economy. I mean, I know obviously it did. I know Italy had a lot of lockdown issues during all that, but I don't know what it did, to local individual economies based on region. I know
Yeah, and
when.
I don't know if it was just like bad timing, if there was like some holiday or some reason why everything was shut down, or maybe the wrong time during the wrong day of the week or whatever. But to me it didn't feel like everything was open and bustling. It was kind of sad looking.
I would say.
But then we went down the to like the east side of the coast, and we went to like a beach town over there. Can't remember the name of it, but that was really nice. And then we went to our last stop, which was Rome, back over
Mhm.
left to the west coast, and we flew home from Rome.
So I flew out of Rome, or in and out of Rome, when I went to Italy. Now when you did you drive to the airport, or did you like have to ditch the rental car at the train station and ride from the train station to the
No,
airport, or how did
we
that work?
returned the car at the airport.
What's up, trade crew? Are you tired of playing microfarad hide and seek with your service truck inventory? I think it's time that you tested out the Turbo 200 family from Amrad Manufacturing and Global to Source, where efficiency meets durability and finding the right capacitor is never a game of chance. With the Turbo family of universal capacitors, you're not just getting any regular capacitor. No. You're getting the HVAC industry's version of a superhero cape. Reliable, efficient, ready to save the day, these ruggedly tested, made in the USA capacitors are prepared for whatever you run into during your service calls. These truly unique and industry-changing universal capacitors allow you to replace over 200 individual sizes with just their 4 models: the Turbo 200, Turbo 200X, Turbo Mini, and Turbo Mini Oval. And did I mention they have a 5-year warranty? Seriously, what are you waiting for? Do the math and upgrade your truck stock setup today, because the Turbo family has got you covered. Visit the HVAC R&D Vendor Hub and click on the Global to Source link to request training from a local account executive in your market. Easy peasy. Amrad Manufacturing, where performance meets perfection. Because in the world of HVAC, good enough isn't in our vocabulary. It's turbo or nothing. And now, back to the show. Italy was fun when I went. So I went in 2006. I was there that summer.
Nice.
I was in. I've told this story too many times, so I'll keep it short. But I was in Milan when Italy won the World Cup in 06.
Oh wow.
So,
That must have
so
been
my Milan story.
Yeah, so the
Which
city was lit at that time.
Yeah, right.
I have never seen people in a country party so hard and be so happy. It was insane.
I was in Brazil for a World Cup, and that was a cool experience too.
Oh, I
Like the
bet.
parties in the street. Yeah.
Ooh, what year was that one?
Now you're gonna test me.
But not 2002.
I've been in
Every
4 or
years.
5 different times. So this was probably 08. Was that World Cup 08?
Nope. Because
No.
I was at what
2010?
would have been. I think it was 02. Was it 02?
2002, 2006,
2010.
2010.
No, 2002 was Japan.
Had to be then.
Yep.
Yeah, 2010.
Yep.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, I learned a lot about Brazil like on that trip, like especially like being out in the city like that, just like about the culture and like the police presence is way different there than the police presence is here. And they're kind of brutal. They're scary.
Where do you go in Brazil when you go?
I've been everywhere. We different places.
Where's Igor's family from?
He's from Minas, so the middle of the country in the countryside. Valadares.
Oh God, that's the same place where my family's
Yeah.
from. I know every corner of Valadares you could imagine.
Been there.
That's cool.
I haven't been to Rio though. I would say that's probably the one big place that I haven't hit yet. And then of course like the south, I haven't been down there.
Oh, I'm gonna message Igor later.
I need to just tag
See what
along on a
bayou
trip
he's
and let
from.
y'all be the locals, be my local yokels to teach me
I
all the
know
cool
I don't
places to
I
go
know
in
the
Brazil.
answer that question. They do, but it has like letters, right? JK is his bio.
Bayou, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, Caio, you've made, on top of being a dad, you've also made some other professional steps this year that I know when you were on the show before, you were kicking around, what it was going to be like if you were going to move more into leadership or if you preferred being primarily in the field. But I know you have since taken more of a leadership role, and I kind of want to just briefly, people that didn't hear you on the show before, just kind of give us a little bit of your background and your journey and how you got into this and why you pursued a career in HVAC, specifically around sheet metal, and how you got started.
Yeah, so well, I got started back right out of high school, which I graduated high school in 2014, and I didn't really have any idea what I wanted to do with my career afterwards. I struggled through high school, and it was very difficult for me, but I got through it, and I've always known I wanted to work with my hands. As a little boy, I always said I wanted to be a builder. I didn't know what that meant, but I guess I'm a builder now in some sort of
True.
way. Went to tech school as a post grad. So after I graduated high school for plumbing, I was in the program for maybe 4 months until a family friend of mine who was really close friends with my father as well gave me a job offer, asked my father actually if I could work for him. And, I ended up dropping the plumbing course, and it was just like an intro to plumbing course with a bunch of high schoolers, which is hectic. But got into sheet metal. So I've always been in the commercial industrial side of sheet metal. I touched a little bit of residential, not much though. Don't do anything with refrigeration, just strictly sheet metal, which I'd like to change. And I learned really quick. I really liked it. Learned how to read blueprints really quickly as well. Got into an apprenticeship program in Massachusetts. It's 5 years working and 5 years in a classroom for you to be eligible to take the state test for you to get a journeyman's license. So there's a 5 year license, which is unrestricted, and there's a 3 year license, which is restricted. And then once you hold that license for a year, you're eligible to either one of those. You're eligible to take a master license, and yeah, I mean it's so I went from I was like I was a foreman pretty early on, a working foreman, um, at a young age, which was very difficult. I mean I was one of those people who I learned from my mistakes. I learned from examples, and I didn't really have someone guiding me too well for the first like 4 years of my career. Um, and I was just doing what I thought was right. And then I left the company that I was with, worked for a larger, more structured company. I learned, like, I fine tuned myself really well, learning, details, communication on a job site with other contractors, which is very important. Learning the paperwork behind, submittals and how to read submittals, how to read details, how to read other blueprints that aren't attached to your trade. So like learning architectural drawings, learning, um,
Plumbing, electrical
the
drawings. Yep.
other trades drawings, because it all ties in together at some point.
Well, and that
And
I was going to say that one is kind of a leads into the types of challenges that you encounter, like working to be prepared to be in a leadership role. Is you've got to start understanding all these other things, even as a crew leader, but let alone when you're starting to look at the next step.
right, exactly. And so yeah, so when I left that, so I was with that company for another 4 years, and I became a lead foreman there, which is still like a working lead foreman. And then I've been with the company I'm with now, which is the previous company I was with before, for 2 years now. And I'm trying to help them expand, trying to help the other employees get more knowledgeable, and trying to teach them that the things that, like, I wish somebody taught me before. And so now I'm more of the commercial field supervisor now. I kind of oversee not only my jobs but other people's jobs, or I like to say contracts, because there's so many different contracts with different projects. And so it, which is nice. It's good for my boss, I'd say, because it's taken a huge load off of his back, because his phone isn't ringing off the hook, and people are calling my phone nonstop now, asking questions, which I'm okay with. I'm really good at explaining things, and I'm there to just communicate with contractors, communicate with the field guys, the other foremans, explain to them and different processes, and things like that. Things that I learned at the bigger company.
Well, and
So
and I was going to say, now that you're back there, I'm guessing that part of you coming back there and allowing your boss or your business owner to step into a slightly different role himself, he can spend more time trying to work on growing the business as opposed to working in it as much, because you're now there helping develop that other part of the business in the background.
exactly. I'd like to think that, at least.
Well, I mean, that's the
um,
goal. I would
yeah,
assume.
that's the ultimate goal. And I think that's what every employer wants to see within their company, is seeing people take on leadership positions and take on responsibility. And that's something that I was watching someone's live, and I commented that, um, that people aren't going anywhere in life if they're not willing to take responsibilities, because, like, the more responsibilities you have, the more you're going to be valuable in a company and all that stuff. So I'm trying to help people take on more responsibilities, and when people take on more responsibilities, it takes off stress off of other people's backs, whether it's my boss, whether it's my back, someone else's. And that's the ultimate goal, is for me to educate people and, you know, create other leaders, create other foremen for the company.
Well, and that leads to what are really the essential qualities to becoming a project leader or taking the role you're at. Obviously it's listening, it's communication, it's taking responsibility. What other main qualities are you trying to instill into the guys you're training to develop them into kind of the next person to do your job as the company expands? Like if you had to pick two other things that you've got to drill into them, what are you trying to get them to understand as being a leader? Turn up the heat in your kitchen, trade crew, using Cajun Joe's Bayou Spice, the original blend that brings the bold, authentic flavors of the Bayou straight to your table. Perfect for grilling, sauteing, low country boiling, or seasoning any dish, Cajun Joe's adds the perfect kick of heat and spice. Whether it's seafood, chicken, gator, beef, pork, veggies, or more, you'll love how this blend transforms your meals. Ready to take your cooking to the next level? Grab your jar today in the HVAC R&D swag shop. Just visit hvacrnd.com and spice up your life with Cajun Joe's Bayou Spice. And now, back to the show.
Right. So, I was explaining this to a coworker recently, because you could have somebody who's a great installer, great job at installing ductwork, measuring, whatever. But if they can't lead a crew, they're just going to be an installer for the rest of their life, because leading a crew takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of just patience, really. Like, you have to understand that people are going to have bad days during the week, and when they're in a mood, you got to read people's moods, and know when the right time to tell them that their job was shit or their job was great. Because if someone is in a mood that day, you don't want to tell them something they don't want to know. But being able to read people, and communication's huge. Whether it's shooting an email to the contractor, speaking to a customer, talking to other contractors on site, other trades, coordinating and stuff like that, or talking or working with a coworker. And so, you could, like I said, though, you could be a great installer, but you need to have those qualities, and those you got to understand people to be able to be a good leader. Whether it's mostly communication, really. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Communication's huge. Understanding the job, obviously. You want to make sure you know how to read blueprints and the process of everything. I think something that I learned a lot that's huge is knowing what's on your contract, knowing what you own and what you don't own. Because a lot of times people will go out of the contract, or a contract will be like, hey, could you actually, change this or move this? And sometimes, a lot of the times, people will be like, yeah, sure, no problem. And in a commercial side of the business, it's something that, you might say that, oh, no problem. But, you got to stay focused on staying on track of the job, and all those little extra things adds up a lot of time and a lot of money. And at some point you got to say, hey, that's going to be a change order. That's extra work. And understanding contracts, I think, is really important as a leader on a job, I'd say.
Well, and have you had a recent job where you've had, some of those challenges where you've had to go with change orders, and how do you navigate some of that going to the customer?
Absolutely. So that stuff happens all the time. I mean, an example is the other day I went in, and I've had my duct. So I did a lot of the coordination. I do all the coordination. I got all my duct heights for the architect. Architect approved my duct heights for all the duct throughout the whole job. So that was approved, and then a month later I installed all the duct, and then a month after that the sprinkler guy came in, and
don't you love it?
He was like, oh, the main is going through here, your duct is in the way, you're going to have to cut this back, offset up and offset back down so we could go through. I'm like, no, I am not doing any of that work. That's like 3 days worth of work. I'm not touching that until I see money in my hand. Then I'll do it. Because it's, I've had all my stuff checked out, and it, so like people will try to say stuff like that and try to get you to do things without you,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do any work for free. So, and nothing's worse than going back and doing demoing duct that you just installed. Nothing's worse than that. What was that?
I told
What was the rest of the question though? I feel like I veered off.
Oh no, you hit it. You hit the nail on the head. And I was gonna say, speaking of change orders,
Yeah.
talking about ripping out duct you just put together, I still to this day get irritated thinking back to a couple of jobs where I was building custom duct chases in these custom homes that were getting rebuilt. They were like old log cabins that had been gutted, and the only way to get things certain places was I literally had to we literally moved the break in the metal shop because it was like an hour or something from our shop. So we just took the break up there, and I built everything in this place. And I remember spending a week building, supply and returns, going back and forth through the basement of the house. And I came back that Monday morning, and they'd ripped out half of my ductwork because they decided they wanted to move a wall, and I damn near quit. I told Dad, I was like, I'm leaving. I said, if I stay up here the rest of the day, I was like, I will get fired off this job. Yeah. I was so pissed.
But what happens? Did somebody pay again for you to redo it? Or do you have to eat that?
By the time we were done, they got slapped with a change order. By the time we were done with that job, the amount of change orders doubled the price of the original contract.
Yeah, that's how
it went from like a $40,000 3-system house to a $80,000+ $3-system house.
Last year I did a change order for because I found a soffit issue that the architect didn't catch. It ended up being a $250,000 change order that got approved.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's crazy
that we got paid for, which was nice.
So, are you seeing any interesting new trends in your commercial market? I know we're closing in on Rachel and talking some early days A2L stuff, but are you seeing anything like that start to change?
Oh yeah,
on projects you're working for.
I've spoken to a few people of how things were. I'd say like when I first started versus now. Like a lot of the things that I've noticed is a lot of buildings, instead of running like ductwork everywhere, they'll just do like cassettes everywhere. And that kind of kills the sheet metal trade a little bit. But to compensate for that, now like every building that there's like occupancy basically has to have an ERV system. I don't know if it is. I know I think it's code in where there's occupancy. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Maybe someone.
Well, and it may be code specific to market too. Right. I know a lot of that stuff's starting to change down here, but I've not seen all of it. The company I work for works primarily with major commercial contractors, such as what you do up north.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of it that I'm learning on this side because I came from the residential light commercial side. So I still have a whole lot more to learn about navigating the industrial commercial side of things.
Right. So we're doing like there's a lot of like, fan coil units. There's a lot of VRF systems, a lot of cassettes, but then we're also running a lot of ERV duct. So we're doing an ERV system. So there's a lot of fresh air, exhaust, supply, and return, which is, I feel like it's a pain in the ass. Honestly, it's not like, oh, let's just run VAVs everywhere in a building and supply the room with air that way. It's like, let's run these 4 different duct runs everywhere. I don't know. It's a pain in the ass, but it's work and it's nice. It all depends on the project as well. It's obviously going to be different if you're in a lab setting, if you're in an office setting, if you're in a museum like where I'm at, or if you're elsewhere.
Now, are you doing a lot of duct runs and stuff, like you said, lab setting? Are you doing stuff for all the ventilation fans and everything else as well? Or separate contractors doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we take care of just about anything that involves with air, basically, with
It's
HVAC,
moving it, you're building it.
Exactly. Yeah. Only thing that like I could think of that I saw some contractor working with duct yesterday was skylights, and I was like, yeah, I'm okay not touching that anyways, because it's like the same fittings and stuff like that. It's just mirrored on the inside of the duct.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But like I was if you get into the industrial side of stuff, we do a lot of exhaust systems for like a lot of plants and stuff like that, which is stainless steel stuff, that's kind of like my niche. Like that's what I'm really good at doing too. And my boss he doesn't even ask me questions when I work and when he gets a contract with that stuff. I just get in there, do my thing, install it. It gets done. It looks good, works good.
So you brought up cassettes, VRF, that kind of stuff. We know all of that stuff is really being fueled for change in the industry with A2L and what's coming. So I want to transition a little bit more to Miss Rachel. And, Rachel, thank you for coming back as always. And for people that didn't get to hear you on the last show, will you talk just a little bit about your journey and what it's like leading an install crew in the Raleigh area, North Carolina represent, and how you got into HVAC? So sorry, trade crew. I hate to do this to you, but I got to stop you right there. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of this great show with my friends Rachel and Caio. Please make sure to tune in for part 2 next week. Thank you for listening on your favorite podcasting platform, whatever it may be. While you're there, please like and rate the show. Leave me a review. Share me with your trade crew. If you're not following HVAC R&D online, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at hvac.rnd and on LinkedIn, Tradehounds, and Facebook as the HVAC R&D Podcast. Don't forget to check out the website and swag shop. If you want to work with me, you know how to do that. So have a great week, trade crew. Have a great new year. I'll catch you soon.